And we're back just like that. What's going on, everybody? It's the four black guys in the show. We got three tonight, but put up your fours, everybody. Let us know that you're here. Put your name in the comments. Let us know where you're from. We want to thank you all for once again for diving in and being with us on tonight. And y'all like, man, where y'all been? It's been like 2 weeks. Let me tell y'all. Can I be honest with them, guys?
Be honest with them.
Be honest with them. Man, we was tired. So, you know what I'm saying? Point blank, y'all. We are tired, man. We've been now. Check this out. Now, check this out. What's up, Culture Mac? Thank you, man, for coming in and being with us tonight, bro. We know our true fans gonna come in and be with us. You know, I know some of them might have, thought we was done and thought we was through. But let me tell y'all this, man. We started as the three black guys, me, James, and Mario. And what's going on, Michelle Shorts? We've been going at this thing, man, for over a year. Can you believe it? We're almost at the 2 year plus mark. Yeah, because we've had Lovejoy on for almost a year now. Ain't that right, Lovejoy?
Yeah, that's right, man. Yeah.
And man, we've been going strong at this, man, with numbers going up, numbers going down throughout COVID, man. So be honest, man, we were just tired and we needed to take a break. Also, this last weekend, man, we were up with Lovejoy getting pampered. You know what I'm saying? Us and our significant others, we were up in Madison, man, getting straight pampered with the good food, man. Let me tell y'all something. What's her name who cooked the food? Lovejoy.
Oh, Miss Kathy.
Miss Kathy.
Mama, yeah.
Miss Kathy, man, she tore all her drawers making that food.
Yeah, the food was dope.
She put her foot up, man. I mean, let me tell you, this red velvet cake was so good, man. It made you want to get up, drive home, smack your mama, go back and eat some more. I mean, that's how good that red velvet cake was. My wife brought some home. It was gone the next day. You understand what I'm saying? It's gone, man. And then the apple, the cobbler.
Yeah, the peach cobbler was the bomb.
It was the peach cobbler, yeah. I was almost cussing in there like Lovejoy.
Hey, wow.
That's pretty deep.
Guess what, fellas?
What?
I didn't taste not one single thing.
Man, Lovejoy, you should have had some, Ross.
I should have. I wanted some.
Right.
I didn't get it.
Right.
Everybody started taking plates home.
Hey, they got my mama. She's in the house. Hey, Mom, how you doing? I knew she was going to be in here. If anybody's going to be here, my mom's was going to be in here. So, guys, we want to thank you so much. We took a little 2-week hiatus. We had to catch our breath, man, and just relax for a little bit. And so now we back at the grind. I want to thank you once again for being in here with us. Lovejoy.
Yes, sir.
How was your week, man? How was your 2 weeks been, boss?
Still busy. I think our audience can appreciate this. Believe it or not, it does take a lot to do this when you had a busy week and then you have to come in. It's like landing a plane. You coming in at 250 miles an hour. And that's how it is doing the show. We wide open. We got other things, other business ventures going on. But yet, Sunday afternoons, we start landing the plane. We coming in at 250 miles an hour trying to land the plane. So it's still full speed ahead, but we're trying to land. So my week, man, my 2 weeks, still busy, man. Still busy, still doing things. And I was honored to have you guys up here last week for our couples dinner. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope, James, you enjoyed your 55-degree water.
Yeah, the water was good. It was good.
Yeah.
The tea was great. I appreciate the tea. Thank you.
Your chai. No, you need to tell everybody exactly what kind of tea that you request.
My chai latte.
Yes, chai latte with almond. Well,
with almond milk.
We got it wrong. We got almond creamer. He wants almond milk.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So yeah. But it was cool, man. I enjoyed you guys. When y'all left, I threw myself in the car just to get home because I was tired.
Yeah, man, we saw you. You were spent about almost all the way through that thing, man. You were spent, and but we appreciate it. My wife had a wonderful time.
Good.
We learned some good lessons about each other, man. Stuff that we need to implement. Every relationship ain't perfect, y'all. If you looking for, let me tell you something. If you in a relationship, or if you looking for you single people out there, especially you single ladies, man, y'all be tripping. Y'all be looking for perfect instances and perfect guys, and it don't exist. Relationships, baby, they are a daily decision to make it work. And if it just
And let
falls
me
into
say
place,
this,
huh?
Steve.
Go
Let me
ahead.
say this: it's a daily decision to compromise.
That right. It's a daily decision to compromise. And the time you get to a point where you don't want to I preach today, so my tongue, I've overused my words. How many words we got during the day, Lovejoy?
Oh, 7,500 to a
Okay.
woman to a woman's 25,000.
So I've used my men's words today. They all gone. I had an opportunity to preach today, but I'm talking about that later. But ladies, if you're looking for the perfect situation for the perfect man, or you're looking for the perfect woman, you're gonna be Sancho a long time. You're gonna be Sancho a long time. But anyway, will you finish Lovejoy?
Yeah. Again, just thank you guys for coming up. And Steve requested green M&Ms, all green M&Ms,
Yep.
Snickers with no nuts,
No peanuts.
no peanuts, almond joys without any almonds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you delivered, boss.
Yeah, man. I was glad to be you guys' servant. I really was. It was
Because
awesome.
I was joking about mine, but he went ahead and did it.
I know.
Yeah, I wasn't playing.
Yeah,
I know you weren't
James,
playing about your chai latte.
James come up here. He think he's supposed to get treatment like that every single time he come up here. So
We appreciate you too, Mama.
yeah.
Hey, Mom said, James, you need to drink room temperature water. She drinks it. She said,
I can't stand room temperature water.
I can't either, Doc. I like my water.
Mom,
Erica, what's going on, girl?
Hey, Mom, James' water was tested before he got there to make sure it was 55 degrees.
Are you serious?
Yes. We wouldn't have bought a thermometer, a food thermometer, put in this water to make sure it was at a cool 55 degrees.
I would have gave that nigga a bottle of water. Say, here, take this. Be happy.
Yeah.
Erica said it was a top tier event. Yes, it was, Erica.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Enjoyed you, Erica. Enjoyed you guys coming up.
Indeed.
So, yeah, that's how my 2 weeks was.
All right. James Fred, how was your 2 weeks, sir?
Man, it was 2 weeks.
You say it was 2 weeks?
Okay then.
I mean, it was 2 weeks, man. Nothing special happened. Same old thing, man. But yeah, I will say we did enjoy ourselves up there. We turned it into a little mini getaway type. It's just up the road in Madison, but still, it was a little get out of Birmingham type deal. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
we enjoyed ourselves. That was.
Sorry to interrupt you, James. I didn't say this, y'all, but I do want to give a big shout out to TJ for financing this dinner. She paid. Brave paid for everything.
Oh wow.
With the TJ. So just wanted to give a big ups and shout out to TJ for
hosting
and paying for everything.
Thank you. Tell her thank you. Tell her thank you. If she's not
it was a good event, man. It really was. It was well put together. Top tier. Food was phenomenal. Water perfect. Tea perfect. And you can't ask for more, man. I appreciate it.
Shoot, you did. I cussed already.
So I think, as if we're invited back to the next one, I'll have a couple more requests, but it'll be okay.
He is not welcome.
And who book?
Huh?
And whose book? Whose book is gonna be okay?
It'll be all right.
Okay.
It ain't gonna be nothing. It ain't
There
gonna
you
be
go, TJ.
nothing crazy.
Tell TJ. She's chiming in now. Tell her.
Yeah, I have a couple other requests. You know, but I think, hey, listen. I just, like y'all always say, I believe in excellence. So, I just want to make sure, the water is at the correct temperature.
But why 55 though?
Huh?
Why 55?
Because that seems to be the perfect temperature for water for me. The perfect temperature for me. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. It's perfect.
No, you know what the Bible says about. Never mind.
Being lukewarm.
Yes.
I know what you're going with.
Well, I started to request the circle ice cube, but I said I'd leave that alone this time.
What?
But next time, I think I might want the circle ice cubes. Because the circle ones, because they don't have edges, don't melt as fast as the cubed ice cube.
You better get away from me with that.
So
I don't be running all over town looking for no circle cubes for you. And what's crazy is you had me running around town looking for this mess for you. And I'm just out rolling, just trying to find stuff for you. I'm like, man, it ain't gonna happen.
But this time I'll put the request in early, so you'll have time.
Steve, how was your James? You're right, Erica. James D. Help. Steve, how was your 2 weeks, man?
Man, my 2 weeks were cool, man. That first week that I just rested on Sunday, man. To be honest with you, I took time out, spent time with the kids, spent time with the family on Friday night. They're like, "You ain't got to do a show." Yay! So I just hung out with the kids and the family, and then last week we were up with you, and it was a great time. Let me tell y'all something. If you need, if you're needing some help with relationships, you do. I told you, I've used up all my words tonight. You do need to look up TJ and Anthony Lovejoy. They can help you out with your relationship. They are relationship gurus. They're really counselors, but gurus sound so much better. But
that do sound good.
Yeah, right. They are gurus, man, and they put together an event for the couples to come out and just ask us some challenging questions while we ate well. And but I'm here to tell you, check these guys out. Later on, I'm gonna ask you for the number again, Lovejoy, so I can put it up there. And it's phenomenal, just phenomenal, man. They got their stuff together, and we were blessed to be one of the first people to have that event. And we appreciate you, TJ. We appreciate you, Lovejoy. Today, I had an opportunity, and the reason my tongue's not working tonight because I've already used up how many words I got, Lovejoy?
You probably in the negative right now. You preach today, you're in the negative. You are officially in the holy hangover zone. Seriously, you preach today?
Yeah, dude. I preach today.
Yeah.
So
you feeling it now?
Yes. And check this out: position, posture, preparedness.
That what you preach on. That's what you preached on.
That's it.
That's it. He got it. He was listening.
I was listening.
They were listening.
Listening.
Where you come from, Steve?
That was it.
Where'd you come from?
I just came out of being prepared for purpose, a position for purpose, man. And the three things that purpose needs is for you to be in position. You need to be, because you got to be in position to get the purpose. You got to have the right posture, which is posture, not also the way you sit, but also an attitude you take about receiving something. Having the right attitude about the position you're in, and then the preparedness, which is what are you expecting? Because your expectation determines your preparedness. What you're expecting determines your preparedness. You prepare for what you're expecting.
Steve, and, ask him the question. Yeah. Ask him the question.
Ask him the question. Okay.
Yeah, ask him the question.
I'll ask him the question. I'll ask everybody the question, see if anybody gets it. With that last statement I made, your preparedness determines your expectation, or your expectation determines your preparedness. Lovejoy, you got a refrigerator house, right?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So, what if I told you you have a single or a French?
Oh, it's French.
Okay. What if I told you I got a brand new French refrigerator for you? What would be the first things or one of the first things you do if I said I have a brand new French door refrigerator for you? What would be one of the first things you do?
I would start preparing. I would clean that one out, making preparations for the new refrigerator to come.
There you go. That's it. That's it.
See, but
I
that
how many
don't
times
count.
I asked that?
Lovejoy a pastor, so he don't count.
I know, right?
What'd you say, Jan?
I said you a pastor, so you don't count.
Well, why'd you tell him to ask you the question then?
He wanted to see if he was gonna get it.
No.
Because look,
So,
I asked him
so
how
give
many
me the
people did I
title.
ask?
Give me
About
the
5 or
title
6
again.
people? Huh?
Give me the title. Give me the title again.
Of the sermon?
Yeah.
Are you
What's the title?
positioned for purpose? Are you positioned for purpose?
For purpose. Okay.
Right. And purpose takes 3 things. You need position, posture, and preparedness.
Posture. And what else?
Preparedness,
Prepare.
preparedness.
And so watch this. Can I add to your sermon?
Oh Lord.
Once we have done all of those things, we open up ourselves to the power of God.
Yeah.
Not only the power of God, the provisions of God. And once the provision of God is there, we can then expect the protection of God.
But look at there. Look at there. He done added 3 things that quick. Boy, tell you that an emoji. Ain't that hold on a second.
Okay. All right, man. Come on, man. I'm not. I ain't fooling. Come on, man. Come on.
But
what we talking
anyway,
about?
We had a great time at church. James came through, man. DeLon came through, played the saxophone, bro.
Okay.
It was off the chain. It was off the chain day. That's right. Michelle got it right. Michelle says clear space. That's right. That's right. I think I asked this question.
DeLon played that saxophone. Some of the women in there forgot they was at church for a second.
Oh boy.
DeLon got to blowing that saxophone, man.
They forgot they was at church. That's what I'm talking about.
A mess.
Yeah. Well, good job, Steve. Good job,
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's still some still left in you.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. But my words are used up tonight.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I say we've done it, man. We have spent enough time getting back in the flow of things. Let's talk about some stuff tonight. Let's talk about this COVID thing. It ain't over. It's like Kirk Franklin. It ain't over. It ain't over. So we're looking at 47 million cases in America right now of the COVID. The numbers are having a slight increase. We haven't seen the numbers like we've had in the past couple of numbers, but the past few days, numbers have gone up slightly. We've seen 762,000 deaths just in America. And we're still fighting this battle, guys. We are still going through this pandemic. It's not over yet. And not to be about fear. It's about knowing. It's about understanding. It's about being vigilant about your health. Okay, I'm not trying to spread fear. I'm just giving information, because at the end of the day, you got to make the decision with you and your family in mind, right? We are now coming upon. Now they've released the vaccination for the children. Now I think it's from 5 to 11 are not able to get the vaccine, and I'm telling y'all got to help me tonight to get the vaccine. And so we're still deciding in our house what we're going to do with our kids. And, do we want to give them the option for it? Me and Tanya were talking about it now that it is available. Tanya's gonna go get her booster shot sometime this week, and I'll probably get mine later on this week myself. But there are still those out there who have not taken the vaccine, and that's fine. That's your decision. That's something that you got to live with. What's up, Mike? That's something you got to live with. That's something that you have to consider. And, I'm respecting that. I'm on the side of protecting my family at all costs. A lot of people go out and they buy weapons and they say, well, I got my weapon. I got my AR-16 that in bulletproof. I'm not, and I'm sorry, what they call it? Armored bullets that can shoot through anything. But what do they call it? Piercing bullets, or what they call that?
Yeah, the armor piercing bullets.
Armor piercing bullets. And I take that to the store every day with me because I got to protect my family. Well, I decided to protect my family's health. So, and I work in an environment to where, we're mandated to have vaccines. So I can't poo-poo you for wanting to have armor piercing bullets to go to the grocery store, but not wear a mask. Sounds silly, but you need armor piercing bullets to go to the grocery store, but you won't wear a mask. But okay. All right. So in lieu of that, we have Mr. Aaron Rodgers, prominent football player, plays quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, who has not been vaccinated, which is not a problem. But the problem is Mr. Aaron lied and said that he was vaccinated. Now, this has landed him in a bunch of hot water because not only has he lied to the league and has been playing football, he's been around other players exposing himself and the team to the COVID-19. James Fred, you got anything to say about this, Mr. Aaron Rodgers, quarterback? Should he be playing if he's not vaccinated? Because there are protocols in place for those who don't want to take the vaccine. Go ahead, James. I'll let you fly.
Yeah. See, my thing is with that is I only thing I can say is that maybe he didn't want to be tested every week. But other than that, I mean, the folks said, if you don't want the vaccine, cool. We're just going to have to test you. Every week we're going to stick the sting up your nose. So if you choose not to be vaccinated, then just deal with that. The problem is people, for some reason, don't want to. If it's an inconvenience at all, they don't want to deal with it. And now with this COVID thing is that everything is about all of a sudden now choice. Now these folks tell us we got to wear seatbelts, which I think is stupid. They have all these signs up telling us to stop and go and all this old stuff. They tell us, the government, man, tells us so much stuff that we have to do. But now all of a sudden, it's about choice and freedoms. It's ridiculous. So for me, this is not a big deal. I have gotten into to where I'm not worried about the problems that millionaires have. Like, if he's one of those people who, if they do sit him down, he's straight. He got money. I'm more worried about the ones who don't want to take the vaccine for whatever reason and worried about losing their job that's supporting them. And next month, they're going to get put out because they no longer have any. Them the type of people I tend to worry about right now. Aaron Rodgers, whatever. Whatever you want to do. Whatever.
Steve, you talking?
Is Steve talking?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I was talking.
Okay.
What bothers me is that you were all, and I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers. He was all for saying one thing, but he's a liar. I'm sorry, he's a liar. And he was doing a media event, and he told them that he was immunized was the word that he used. It was not really vaccinated. He was immunized, and he was up there taking the horse pills. He was, you know what I mean? He was taking ivermectin, and he's getting his counsel from folks like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, that dude's an idiot too. So for me, it's not only you lying, but you're spreading misinformation, which is causing people their lives. See, I don't mind whatever decision you make it about you and make it for you and only affects you. But when you make decisions that can affect somebody else's life, now you're just downright selfish. You're a lying, selfish person. And for me, that upsets me, because you may have an issue with not taking the vaccine, but what about my mother? What about my grandma? You know what I'm saying? What about my children? Just because you don't want to take the jab and you want to have your so-called freedoms, even though, like James just said it, there are many mandates that affect our freedom. You know what I'm saying? Come on, get off of it. What you got to say, Mr. Lovejoy?
Well, I think it shows the arrogance. I think it shows the selfishness of this leader, this person of influence. The selfishness part is that you will be willing to expose your team to something deadly as this, and you're supposed to be a leader. Forget the money. He lost $432,000 each game. But let's just set the money aside. What about considering others while you are even playing? Exposed. There's no telling how many hundreds or even thousands of people he passed, he touched. Practice on the way to the game.
Right.
I think it's extremely selfish of him to have this kind of this attitude about the vaccine. So I get it. You got money, player. But the other stuff I think that's been extremely selfish.
Yeah.
Of him as a leader and as a person of influence. Now watch this. So yesterday I'm standing in MAPCO, and of course I'm vaccinated. I'm still wearing a mask, but the gentleman behind me, and I'm sorry, I profiled. I did. He didn't have a mask. He didn't have a mask on. Had on a Alabama hat. Smell like mayonnaise. But he was in my space. And my thing is, okay, hey man, can you respect me enough to stay out of my space? You're not 6 feet, and we still should be practicing 6 feet intervals. And he didn't. He was on my back. I could smell the Marlboro that he had just put out in the car. That's selfish to me, that you would still invade somebody's space. You decide, because I profile. I can promise you that he probably wasn't vaccinated. But because of your selfishness and your arrogance and your ignorance, you would rather harm somebody else, invade their space, rather than respect the person who decided they're going to get the vaccine. You would rather be arrogant and stupid and put another person in harm's way. I don't get it, y'all. I don't.
Yeah.
So it's up to me. It's up to me to say, hey, player, can you step back about 4 more feet? Well, God damn, what's the damn problem? Well, the problem is you are not learned on this subject. And I'm respecting everybody else around me because I'm vaccinated. Don't want to expose anybody, but you seem to choose something otherwise. So I'm going to ask you to step back. I don't have a problem asking people to step back out of my space. And I think that's the arrogance of most of these people. That's my opinion.
Miss Michelle said my son just turned 18 Thursday, and but he was 17 when he got the vaccine. My husband and I allowed him to make that decision. He researched it, decided to get the vaccine, thankfully. My husband and I are also vaccinated. I hear you. Mr. Michael says, "How do we know the vaccine work? What if it's all cap?"
No,
Well,
okay.
for
Ask
me,
him, how do we know that Tylenol works?
wow.
Or how do we know Advil works?
And how do we know salvation works?
How do we know penicillin works?
So we have to go by well, I guess it depends on the type of person you are. Some people look at the science. Some people will believe some of the conspiracies that are out there. I mean, it's an individual choice, y'all. This is what people on both sides of this. Some people don't understand. It's all about a choice. So, if I believe the vaccine works, then I'm gonna make the choice to get the vaccine for whatever reason I'm choosing to do it. Well, if I believe it don't work, then it's the same thing. I have to make a choice based on the information that I have. That's all anybody can do. The problem is that everybody thinks they have the right information. So unvaccinated people who are just against getting the vaccine feel like Joe Rogan and them are telling them the truth. Feel like that some doctor popped up somewhere and says that the vaccine magnetizes you. It's telling you the truth. But for some reason, and this goes to human nature, how we always veer toward the negative. If a doctor pops up and says, hey, this is going to save your life, we had a problem believing that. Isn't that interesting? We'd rather believe that it's going to kill us or do whatever to us than believe it can save your life. It's all about a belief system. Love, joy to yours too. Salvation is all about belief. If I don't believe I can be saved, then it's like, then what?
And then you die, and then you say, "Oops."
Well, I mean, hey, but that's always the answer. We find out when and if we die. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
Can I tell you something? My neighbor up the street, she caught COVID. Her and the whole family up the street caught COVID. We had to get, we had to pull our daughter away from them, and they had to go through their thing, But luckily, they were vaccinated, right? And so they went through their 2 weeks, and not much happened to them, right? We had another neighbor who got whole family across the street deathly ill. So it's a decision you got to make. It's who you gonna believe. Mike says it scares me because the few people I knew that died recently had the vaccine. Not saying that it doesn't work, just concerns me.
And it's cool to be concerned. Mm-hmm. But again, you can only make the decision based off the information that you have. So if you decide you don't want to get vaccinated, just then that's cool.
Right.
But and here's the crazy part. I know people who have been deathly sick with this and still won't get vaccinated. And they've made that decision. Some people have told them that now they have built up that immunity and don't need the vaccine at this point. There's some science to show that may be true. Again, they've made a decision based off of the information that they have.
But we're talking about, to bring this full circle, we're talking about a person of influence.
Right.
You're talking about what?
We're talking about a person of influence influencing thousands of people.
Well, I get that. And listen, if Aaron Rodgers has that type of influence on people, then you know what? I ain't mad at him. Do y'all thing.
To my
Whatever
point.
Aaron tell y'all to do,
that's my point.
Do it. Like if he has that type of influence on you, then
He does have influence, and people are listening to him, and they're using him as their justification for not taking the shot. Okay, I'm not mad at you either way, but you cannot get upset with me or want to debate with me because I chose to have my family vaccinated. It was a decision that I made for me and my family. The decision you make for you and your family, that's on you, player. I have nothing to do with that. But don't invade my space or don't call me crazy. Don't call me I'm under the control or the spell of the government because I made a decision. I made an informed decision based off the information that I have. Just like you made the decision to not get the vaccination because of the information that you have. And if that's you, I'm just asking you to respect my decision as well as me respecting yours. That's all I'm saying.
What I find interesting for me, because I work at a hospital, right, is the people that work in hospitals or just say that because now that everybody's scared about having this mandate come across that all businesses are going to mandate having the shot, and they take pride in not taking the shot. And so my thing is, you're gonna be without a job. You have your freedoms, but you're gonna be taking Social Security, which is taking Social Security or what is unemployment because you ain't got no job. But now you become a burden to the system with your freedoms.
And then not only become a burden to the system, what happens when you catch COVID? And you don't have the insurance because you were let go on the job and you don't have health insurance.
Right.
Now you become a double burden on the system and you become a burden on the staff of the hospital because
which is already burnt out.
That's already burnt out.
I like this call.
Well, but can we? I don't know. I guess I got a little bit different opinion about that. Can we blame them for that?
Blame
because
who?
Blame who for what?
For instance, the situation that happened in New York when at that hospital, where that hospital had to fire what was it, a couple hundred people, a couple hundred nurses, and then they ran into a problem of not having enough people to take care of the folks that were in the hospital. So I see people blaming the nurses that were fired because they didn't want to get the vaccination. And I just don't think that that's right. Once again, for me, it's all about choice. I understand what people have to say about trying to slow down the spread and all that kind of, I get it. I really do. But we're talking about a choice. And they made a choice not to get it.
Right.
They got fired.
Right.
So now you're going to blame them also for patients not being able to be taken care of?
I don't know. I don't know if you can blame them for patients not being taken care of, but is the cause and effect.
Right. But also the government has to think about that cause and effect when they do the mandate. They got to think it through.
Right. But also the government has to take into consideration people's lives. If you walking through the hospital with COVID, you're affecting people that way.
Here's the thing though, Steve. Here's the thing. The vaccine, as we know, doesn't keep you from getting COVID. Right. The only thing they've been able to show is that the vaccine will stop it from mutating. And that's how eventually you'll stop the spread. You get spread from these viruses because they mutate inside people, then they get spread again. Vaccinated people, the virus can't mutate. But a vaccinated person can still have the virus and still spread it.
I understand.
So you can't. This is a situation, man, where I get it. And in this country, we love to play the blame game for everybody. We love to find somebody to blame for the problem. But the fact of the matter is, man, is that this thing is just it's crazy and it's dangerous. And if we're just gonna start blaming people for everything is the unvaccinated, and I'm vaccinated, I've got vaccinated, but I don't like this scenario that's being played out. I really don't. That's just my opinion.
Carter Mack said, just wait until the government tells them that their hospital bill won't be paid by the government if they aren't vaccinated. That's pretty wild. That's a wild thought. So, so we deal with Aaron Rodgers, man. I'm gonna move on. Let's talk about what happened with Mr. Travis Scott at his concert.
The Satanists, the devil, Beelzebub.
Travis Scott, whom I have no idea. I can't tell you. You can't. I don't know one of his songs. That's how out of loop I am with him.
Me neither.
But they had some type of concert in Houston, and 8 people. I think 9 ended up.
It's 9 now.
It's
Yeah,
9 now. 9 people have been trampled to death at his concert, and so everybody's coming down on him. First we had the baby, with the with the alphabet. And then now we have Travis Scott, whose people have lost their lives at his concert. And I think he had some type of song where he talks about rushing the stage or something like that. So maybe you can enlighten us a little bit, James Fred, on this. Mike said I heard it was a low key. I don't know any
Travis Scott songs too, but I've heard about him over time. If you listen, if from what I've gathered from videos I've seen, at his concerts, he kind of, I guess you can use the word incite or urges people to do that. Rush the stage, to get wild, to get crazy, to just go off. And unfortunately, in this situation, it happened, and they still don't know where the breakdown was at between the crowd stoppers, the police, and security. So, but this happened. These people got trampled and they got killed. So first, let's break this down. Here come the Christians. Talking about the man was worshiping Satan on stage. And so he became a Satanist. And this is what happens at Satanist concerts. Now, nobody called the Who Satanists in '79 when 11 people got trampled at their concert. And I don't recall them calling Pearl Jam Satanists when 9 people got trampled at one of their concerts. But anyway. So Travis Scott, though, he's done everything right. He canceled his next few shows. He said he's going to pay for the funerals of the victim. He's going to compensate people. But now people are trying to say that he is fully responsible. Now, I think he plays a part. The issue that I have is because Travis is on stage doing his thing. And I don't know if y'all have ever been on stage at a concert doing your thing, but those lights shining on you makes it kind of hard to see everything that's going on. So what they were saying is that he should have stopped the show. The other thing that happened is that he did say something about, he mentioned something about there was something going on in the crowd. There were some people being trampled, and he kept singing. Now, they don't know if he actually could see the people being trampled and stomped on. Some people say he did and he just kept singing. And that's what's gotten him in trouble. Not necessarily that it happened, but that when it happened, he kept performing.
Okay, so I'm going to shed some light because I think the question is coming to be, should he be sued or not, is going to be one of the questions that are going to come up. I see even Mike said Travis should not get sued for that. I'm going to run down some facts and we can make a decision off the facts, okay? So it says 8 minutes. I'm sorry, shortly before 5 p.m., Houston Police Department reported dangerous crowd conditions. 8 minutes before the headliner and festival organizer, check what I just said, headliner and festival organizer Travis Scott took the stage at 9 p.m. More than 260 people had already been treated, according to the logs, which did not specify the type of treatment at 9:18 p.m. Less than a half an hour, sorry, at 9:18 p.m. Entry noted a crush injury. Less than half an hour into Scott's performance, the log states this is when it got real. Police reported multiple trampled passed out in front of stage at 9:33. Minutes later, a police operator reported 5 911 calls about unconscious people in the crowd, report of possible CPR. At a level 1 MCI, mass casualty incident was reported at 9:52. So we started at 9:18. A little bit before 9, 260 people got crushed. About 9:52, according to the logs, there are mass casualty incidents. From 10 p.m. to about 11:40 p.m., 17 people have been transported to hospitals, including at least 6 people in cardiac arrest.
And so what they're saying is that
should Travis Scott be sued for this?
You said what?
Should Travis Scott be sued for this?
Yeah, I don't think it's a question of whether or not should he be, but he can be. I mean, should is hell, I don't know if he should be, but I know he will be and he is. It's the same thing if I walk in your house and I trip over something and bust my knee. In this country, I can sue you for that. Whether or not you should be sued, whether or not I win the case is a different thing, but I can sue you.
Love Jordan?
I think the promoters, those that promoted this event, has a responsibility to play in this when they were given information before the concert even
They're being sued too.
Well, to my point, James, I don't think Travis is entirely responsible for this. The promoters who promoted this event were thinking more about the bottom line and making sure that they made money off this event. They wasn't thinking about the safety of the people. So I think if you're gonna pinpoint somebody who's responsible, I don't think necessarily it should be Travis. I think it should be those who promote the event, who got the information, who could have halted the concert for however long or even canceled it. I think they were looking at the bigger picture as far as the money is concerned. So I think they ought to be held liable and responsible for the deaths of these people. I will say this: I do think there was some rituals that was done, given the history of Satanists and the portal and all those things, and walking through the mouth of Travis. Those are demonic rituals.
So it depends on how you want to look at that. I mean, like I said, the man has
not depending on how you look at it. I'm just talking about historically speaking, those things, that whole design was actually part of what we call a love ritual. Walking through the mouth of Travis Scott, then inside the portal, and then there was a low vibrating frequencies that would seem like it was a bass line. Those are rituals performed. Am I saying it has anything to do with it? No, but I am saying is it has all the marks. And I don't profess to be a Christian. I have denounced Christianity, but it does have all of the marks of a ritual in it. And I'm not sure if it was for entertainment purpose, but you can't play with that kind of stuff and don't think stuff is going to happen.
Well, I guess, I mean, then if we walk that line, then we can call a lot of concerts in that same ritual. Jimi Hendrix said that they use musical frequencies to control the minds of the youth. Jimi Hendrix said that. So if we know that they know these things, then I mean, maybe so. Or was it simply there haven't been Travis Scott hadn't had a concert in a long time. People were hyped up. They were anticipated. He encouraged the hypeness, and it got out of control really fast. My question is, and this is the question that I have, is again, it seems like we're giving the police a pass. The fire chief, the police chief, and all of them were there. So why didn't either one of you see what was happening and shut it down? Now, I do understand that there is a certain agreement between the venue security and police. Venue security are totally responsible up to a certain point. But my thing with the police is I don't understand why nobody's questioning them. Like, hey, when y'all saw this getting crazy, what why didn't y'all step in and say, okay, all right, that's it. That's enough. Y'all just let it happen. Because, Steve, that timeline you just read with 911 calls and all that stuff going on, Travis is still performing.
It was starting to happen before he started performing.
Yeah, it was started before he actually started performing.
Right.
It got worse.
Yeah.
When he got up.
So my question is, why is I hadn't heard not one word about them asking the police chief or the fire chief and saying, hey, like what was y'all waiting on? Y'all saw his people wasn't doing nothing. So why did y'all just continue to let it go? Well, did somebody grease the palm of y'all hands?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That's
absolutely.
That's revenue for the city. That goes without saying. That's revenue for the city. Then you're talking about a concert. You're talking about moonlighting. Yeah, police making money.
Right.
To the tune of what, $125 an hour, or probably even more, with the minimum of 4 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
So my thing is if you sue Travis Scott, it is what it is. He's the headliner. It was his event, so yeah, some liability is going to be passed on. But everybody need to catch some of that.
Absolutely.
I don't think he should be sued. Let me just be clear about that.
I disagree with you. With you.
These people on their own will and consent, Steve, bought this $225 ticket. And so now are we placing the responsibility on him? Did he intentionally incite a riot, or
not intentionally? No. I'm not saying he intentionally did anything.
So I can be blamed because I'm here for entertainment purpose only. And whatever happens out there, that's the reason we hire policemen. That's the reason we brought in EMT, for those purposes only. You are there to create a safety perimeter for those that have made the decision to come for this entertainment purpose only. So tell me, where does Travis come in as relates?
Travis comes in not because he just had the event. People are pissed with Travis because he kept performing while a lot of this stuff was going on. And what they're saying is that as this is his event, you saw what was going on, didn't care, and kept the show going. Now, in Travis's defense, again, when you're on that stage and those lights are pointing at you, you can't see everything that's going on.
You can't. I agree with that.
But, like I say, you can sue anybody in America.
Right.
Those lawsuits may not pan out against Travis. I don't know. But I know it's him being the founder of that event, that being his event.
He is not the founder of the event.
He is.
He is.
No.
I just read it, Tony.
Huh?
I just read it. 8 minutes before headliner and festival organizer Travis Scott.
Okay, so are you telling me, Steve, that Travis is the one who found the venue to have the concert, who hired all of the policemen, who hired all the EMT, who hired the backstage crew, who hired event security. Are you telling me that he himself is the person that did that? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm telling
Yes.
you that
He's done it.
he's
He
a
does
festival.
it every year.
I'm right. He's a
No.
headliner.
Y'all missing my point. Or did the organizers, did the promoters who promoted the concert, did they do that?
Tony, listen to me. Listen to me, bro.
Oh, listen, but don't be condescending. I'm
No,
just
this is what I'm
asking you a
saying. I'm just
question.
saying. I'm reading you. I'm reading you the report. It says that he's the headliner and festival organizer. Festival organizer Travis Scott. So he was one of the many festival organizers that put the event together.
Okay. So
I'm not saying he's the
now we're
only
getting into
one.
semantics. We're getting into semantics. So he one of the organizers of, okay, hey man, I would like to have this design up on the stage. But Steve is the event manager, and Steve handles a certain part. James handles a certain part. He has a part to play in as far as the creativity of the concert. Mm-hmm. But so are we saying he's part of the administration or the operation part of it? Is that what we're saying?
Depend on, I mean, if you want to get down into semantics, we can go down that far. It just says that he is one of the festival organizers.
Okay.
That he was on that team. He was in that meeting. He was in that meeting. He was on that team. He was on that Zoom.
Sure he was. Sure he was. But what I'm saying is, when the event planners or promoters found out that they had a problem before the concert even started, I think they had a responsibility to either halt the concert and clear out and bring a level of calmness, or cancel the whole concert together.
I agree.
They're thinking about numbers. We got to pay Mr. Travis for being here. We got to pay him how many of a millions for being here. And these heads in here are not heads. They're units. That's money that's already counted. So you start thinking about refunds and all that. Now there's a bigger price to pay, because now funerals going to have to be paid for. There's going to be lawsuits. It's going to be depositioning. It's going to be lawyers hired. So now you really lost more money than what you would have if you had to stop the concert. And I don't think the man could have just stopped the concert himself. I don't.
Well, I've heard that Cat Williams has stopped one of his shows to make sure.
Yeah.
To make sure when it hit the folks that maybe have fainted or whatever, he stopped his show and said, "Hey man, check on this person." And he didn't start until that person was checked on.
Yeah.
So, like you said, there's a difference between a flashing lights all in your face and a comedian standing up there and maybe can see the crowd a little bit better. There's points to be made on both sides.
I've been on stage at a church and I couldn't see.
I'm with you.
The audience, because I got LEDs in my face, and you have to learn how to preach to the lights, really, because you can't see nothing that's going on out there. I just went through that. So to that point, I understand all of that. And but then he stopped and said, "Hey, y'all go check on such and such. Look, check on." Did he not do that?
Who? Travis?
Travis, yeah.
Yeah, at one point he stopped and addressed and said something about somebody in the crowd, or they needed to get somebody. And then he kept performing. That was before the actual trampling and all that stuff started going on.
Okay.
Like I said, people are just trying to figure out what he actually knew while he was performing. I don't think that he could actually see or tell what was going on up there. I'm saying that as being a part or the head of that event, that he can be sued. Now, they may prove that he's not liable in the lawsuit, but right now, Travis, the promoter, the venue, the security, I think a couple of lawsuits against the police are in there. Everybody's being sued.
Everybody gonna catch some hands.
People, huh?
So everybody gonna catch some hands.
Right. You had over 200 people that said that they were injured from.
Okay, but let me ask y'all this. Y'all ever seen them heavy metal concerts where they do bashing? Mm-hmm. And that's part of the concert.
You got the what they call it, a mosh pit.
Mosh pit, right.
Okay, We ain't never hear about nothing. And I'm not saying that it's never happened, but we don't never hear about that kind of stuff. And that's people are trampled, people are bloody, people they fight. Then who's ever on stage then jumps out into the crowd, everybody catch him and then throw him back on
Crowd
stage.
surfing.
So I'm saying, is that not inciting? And then the music
the
itself.
The thing is, a lot of those rock and roll concerts that do that stuff, that's what the people go there for. They go there for the crowd searching.
For the mosh pit.
Yeah.
Like they
So
go there
saying,
specifically
so
for that experience.
So is one justified and another is not?
Say what?
So are you saying one is justified and the other one is not?
Living in America.
It's not about justification.
Wait, well, okay, now you lost me. You say it's not about justification?
No. So it's simple. These people at Travis Scott's concerts didn't want to get trampled. They got trampled.
What do you mean didn't want to get trampled? Okay,
huh?
Okay. All right, keep going. You losing me.
What I'm saying is that a lot of people that go to these concerts for the mosh pits and at some of these rock and roll concerts, they're there for the stampede. So they, in their mind, have an understanding that I might get trampled. You've had these concerts going where people did get trampled and nothing happened. Those people didn't raise 2 tons of hell. These 200-something folks raising hell with Travis. So you got to think about who the people are,
their ages,
their ages, and the type of music. They don't like black folks. They don't like hip hop music.
That rap music,
right? I mean, it's no surprise that these people, and you best believe there's not 200 and something injured people, but everybody's gonna try to get their hands in this pot.
So let me address Mike. Michael, first of all, Overflow will never have a gig when somebody dies because first of all, we don't play that kind of music, nor do we incite people to enter into our mouths. Also, we've never been an organizer of a situation that would warrant that. But I feel you.
Yeah, no, overflow gonna make you want to go home and make love and stuff like that. They're gonna fight something. They're arousing. They want to make you. They make you want to go home and.
Hey, we'll create noise at 440 megahertz and change your thinking in the bedroom. That's about it.
That's about the much. That's the one that you wanted. You want to play.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but there is a sound at 440 megahertz, guys, that will affect your brain. If there's a droning at 440 megahertz, it's
that's
scientific.
Exactly what Jimi Hendrix was talking about.
Right. Yeah. It does affect.
Can I tell y'all something though? Can I tell y'all something? When Elevation Church goes somewhere and they do their own concert, they do not use the church's sound system. They use their own.
Wow.
And it is cranked up to a certain megahertz.
Right.
I know that to be fact. When I was at a church, I know what they do. So you're absolutely right, Steve. And it's supposed to be labeled as spiritual.
Right. It's spiritual. There's a spiritual frequency that things happen to you. All right, guys. I don't know if we're gonna get through the rest of this. But let's move on over since we're talking about court. Let's talk about Killer Kyle and the kid glove treatment that he's getting on his for shooting 2.
He'll be at home by Thanksgiving.
If you don't know, let me go through the story right quick, James. Kyle Rittenhouse, the kid from another state, another town, driven over to Minneapolis by his mother with an illegal AR-15 that he's not supposed to have at the age of 17, goes over to protect businesses over in Minneapolis, to protect the business that he doesn't know, and they don't know him, but he went over to protect businesses, ends up killing 2 people, not black, that were part of the BLM protest at the time. He called them looters. And so he ends up killing 2 people and describes it as self-defense. If you've been watching this trial, you have seen Killer Kyle on the witness stand.
Dude, I was trying to help him get a tear to fall from his eye. It didn't happen.
I'm sorry.
So did you hear? So the judge at the beginning of this thing said that the 2 people that were killed and the other guy that got shot could not be referred to as victims.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
They could only be referred to as looters, the rioters, or the Black Lives Matter people.
Well, there you can.
But they could not be referred to as victims.
So there's a video also circulating with Kyle. Not at one point, I guess he's somewhere. He doesn't have his gun with him, and he's recording some people looting a business. And he said, "Man, I wish I had my AR with me because I'll fire some rounds at him." This video will not be allowed in court. The judge said that they can't use this video for the prosecutors. The judge is also kid gloving, answering questions for Rittenhouse in the trial. If you have ever, I want to say one thing. I know I'm upset some folks because we got a lot of people in this country. We got black people in this country that say that racism does not exist, or racism for them does not exist.
Yeah, then their mamas don't either. But go ahead.
And so I don't know where that place is in reality, because we had a brother come on this show and he said racism doesn't exist for him. But if you look at this trial, if you watch this trial of Killer Kyle, you can see it on full display how the system is set up for young white boys.
Well, here's the thing. They're not going to call this racism because the people killed weren't black. So they're not going to see the racism in this either, because they don't understand racism. Again, remember, Steve, we've said it a million times on this show. They still think racism has to do with an individual person. They don't understand the system.
Right. And that's the problem for me, is that we have black people saying, well, I don't see racism because I look at everybody individually. Well, you're missing the system. You're missing the matrix. And you sound stupid, because I heard somebody say this. I was watching a TikTok and he was like, show me something. Tell me something that happened to you that racism has affected personally. And for him, racism doesn't exist. Of course, this was a light-skinned brother with green eyes. So I just want you guys to watch this Killer Kyle case.
And watch him go home before Thanksgiving.
And watch him go home, because it's already over. The judge is already biased.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
it was over before it started, y'all.
Well, listen, we don't, like I said, man, we don't even have to talk about the judge. The flipping witness for the prosecution gets on stand and says, yes, I pointed my gun at him. I don't know why. So you just solidified his self-defense testimony there.
So let me ask you a question. Is it self-defense? We have a young, and I'm going to break it down. I'm going to take race off the table. I'm going to take strictly by the law. You have a young man, 17 years old, in a place where he's not supposed to be. It's curfewed. He's not supposed to be there. The rioters and the protesters are not supposed to be there, but he's there. He's there with an illegal gun because he's not supposed to have a gun, that powerful gun at 17. He's in the wrong place doing the wrong thing, and he gets attacked. Is it self-defense?
Yes, because he was running away.
But notice conditions, though. You just said, Steve, and any good attorney would use that. You're somewhere you're not supposed to be with a weapon that you're not supposed to have. So what was the intent?
The intent was to protect businesses. You got to remember, he's still going to be. They're going to charge him for the gun, and I think he's got a couple other charges that he's facing. But he's going to get off with probation on that stuff. They're going to charge him for it.
I agree, but I'm talking about what Steve just said. To that end, he was somewhere he wasn't supposed to be, having a weapon he wasn't supposed to have, and his intent was premeditated because he's not a certified law enforcement officer. You went to a place that was none of your business, so you incited. You had ill intent. The intent, ill intent. So what are we standing on? If we're going to take racism off the table and we're just talking about facts and laws, there was ill intent intended. So for that reason, that should be shipping them off. And I know it won't. I'm not naive. I agree with you, James. I think he's going to be home by Thanksgiving to get his pumpkin.
But I think what messes up that argument is the fact that the third person that got shot says, I pointed my gun at him first. So that's where it's this cat was a witness for the prosecution, and he helping the defense out.
Right.
Because you got on stand and said, yeah, I pointed my gun at him first. I don't know why I did it though.
Okay. So let me tie this in. I had a weapon pointed at me.
You sure did.
Pointed at me. And the intent of it was menacing. The intent to intimidate or to cause fear. I'm talking about why is he even there with his weapon in a place that he does not reside with a motive behind why he's there. Again, intent. A good defense, as far as the prosecution is concerned, they should eat him up all day long. If we're not dealing with racism.
But racism exists.
But racism exists.
In that judge. So what I want to do is end on this, guys. Let's talk about Ahmaud Arbery's case. Where the judge, at least in this instance, is trying to be unbiased. Now we still understand he's in Georgia. We still understand he's Caucasian. But at least in this, while witnessing some of this Michelle wants to know about your situation, Lovejoy. We'll talk about that afterwards.
Okay.
Because I do want to update on that. But in this case, you have 3 white men who are chasing a black man who's just jogging. They corner this black man. The black man, of course, tries to defend himself, which I think is a if you got cornered by 3 white folks, fight or flight comes in.
You get cornered by 3 anybody.
Right. Cornered by anybody. Fight or flight comes in. And so they shoot this brother down with a shotgun and leave him in the street to die, and then claim they were trying to make a citizen's arrest on what crime. We still don't know what that is because they have really no crime. Maybe trespassing on somebody else's property, maybe. They were trying to commit, huh?
They don't even have that.
Right. And then did y'all see the lawyer? The lawyer for the defense, did you see him? Did you talking about we don't want no more black pastors coming down and sitting in the courtroom?
Yeah.
If you don't think racism exists, once again, this is a full display. It's not that you don't want the black pastors because they're disturbing anything. You don't want black pastors in there because they messing with the jury's mindset. And you don't want to see the black pastor in there because you think it's messing with the whatever you want to call it, the juju of the jurors, because they see these high profile preachers. What in his mind thought it was okay for him to stand up and say, We don't want folks
listen.
like Al Sharpton coming in. We don't want Jesse Jackson coming in. We don't want no more. He said it. Black pastors. How many pastors they got?
Well, here's the thing. The defense lawyers don't seem to be the smartest people I've seen before at all. These people are trying to make a defense based off of making a citizen's arrest because the neighborhood had a string of break-ins. So first, the police have already testified and said there was no string of break-ins going on in that neighborhood.
Exactly right.
And then they're basing the defense off of this citizens arrest law that does not exist in Georgia anymore.
Well,
And has
then.
not existed
It
in
existed
Georgia
then.
for a very long time.
But it existed then. When they
Existed
did it,
when?
it did exist.
When what?
When they did the crime, it did exist. It has been recently that they've struck that law.
But Steve, you also have the owner of the house that was under construction come and said he didn't take anything.
Right.
If anything, he called the police just to say, just note that there's people, and he said it's been other people
Right.
that have done the exact same thing. So there was nothing that he did that was done different from anybody else. So what are we standing on?
Right.
I can appreciate that the judge allowed the body cam of the officer who filmed the front of his truck with the Confederate flag on it. I can so much appreciate that. So now you have motive, you have intent. They were racially charged.
Right.
There you go. And I just hope. I guess I'm not so optimistic about this, guys. Even though all that happened, we seen far worse happen, and they still get off. So
right.
Let's just see what's gonna happen.
James Fred.
This was going to be interesting to see. You got 11 white jurors, one
Which
black.
Crazy.
So this is crazy
because the area is mostly black.
Mostly black, right? I'm still trying to figure out how that happened, but
dude, it's like they were striking. And see, it's so bad. You know when it's so bad, when the system is so bad that the judge has to come out and say, "Look, y'all, what you've done is legal, but morally, it is horrible."
Right.
I'm kind of paraphrasing what the judge said. The judge knows that the defense stacked the system, that they got rid of all the black jurors except for that one token, because you need that one token.
Yeah, you got to keep one in there.
And so the judge was like, "Y'all, you did it legally, but it's foul." So there's half a chance with this judge to at least make it as fair, whatever that is.
Yeah, it's going to
in the judicial system, and people say that there's no racism. Y'all have lost your minds. I don't know what America you living in, where the white judge has to say, "This is crazy, y'all." Where the white judge has to roll his eyes at the defense for saying we don't want no more black preachers. The judge was like, "Okay, I'm glad you had to say what you had to say. Moving on." You know what I mean? Yeah. Come on, America. Come on, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I'm done. I've used up all my words tonight. Last words, Lovejoy, on any of the things we talked about. Aaron, Killer Kyle, Trample Travis, Aubrey, Ahmad, Aubrey, anything?
I just
right quick. Tell us what happened after the story. You got the gun pulled on. Quickly.
To make a long story short, I ended up talking to the guy's father, who was in Palestine. Palestine? He was in Palestine when the event happened. He came back and he reviewed the video. And he called me. He called me to apologize for his son's behavior. In the Muslim community, when a son brings reproach on the family, it brings reproach on the entire family.
Mm.
He since told me he wants to be my friend and to forgive his son of his blunder. He says, I want you back here at the store, and I'm going to have my son apologize. He says, you are his father as well.
Mm.
You have the right to correct him. Don't leave him to his demise. He is your son. And he says, I made my living in this black community. And how dare the arrogance of that stench that's in my store come to my son. You've changed my son's life. There's no more guns in this store. And furthermore, I'm going to check this out. I'm going to line my family up, and everybody owes you an apology. Otherwise, he brings shame to our family's name.
Wow.
Bump that. I wanted to turn up.
It was an opportunity for me. It was an opportunity for me because I called Mario. I called Tashar. When the magistrate told me that is hearsay and there's nothing they could do without any evidence, I left out of the magistrate office, feel like somebody hit me in my gut. And I don't liken myself as to those that have lost their lives, but I do understand justice for a black man is non-existent. That was my thought. And then when the father called me and wanted to reconcile, I went to the store. He hugged my neck. I kissed him. I sat down in the very spot that the gun was pulled on me. And to that end, he says, if I ever need anything, to make sure that he called Dr. Muhammad McD.
Mm.
So to answer y'all where it is, I've dropped all charges and I want to move on and I want to be in peace. And to that end, we are the most forgiving people in the world, even when we are done wrong.
Even to our detriment.
Even to our detriment. And so I'm admitting I wanted peace out of this situation. I'm 47 years old, man. I can't keep turning up like that. It costs me too much to want to turn up. It costs me millions to want to turn up. And I have to think more about them little girls upstairs than anything. The future of my family. So I swallowed my pride and I went, and now the son is talking to me about what he did. So I'm in a posture of forgiving, and I'm going to move on from this.
Okay. I thank you for the update, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Because I wanted to hear what happened with that situation. Because I made me some calls and I had some folks making some calls, and we was on Facebook lighting his page up. All right.
Yeah. The dad has seen all of that. And he says, who are you that these people are coming like this? And he says, I don't want any part. I apologize. I'm sorry. Please tell your people. Please tell them we are sorry. We beg for forgiveness.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But that's how we got to show up, y'all. Black people, we got to show up in numbers to make a change, and we have to do it with our money, with influence we have, and with our feet, with our hands, with our vote. We have to do it.
And
James Fred
with an AR-15,
and with an AR-15, and with an AR-15. I can't fault you there, Doc. Lovejoy. Last we're overtime, so.
No, go. It's James. It's on James.
James. Any final thoughts?
Love, peace, and soul.
All right, we gonna go out with the soul train. All right, y'all.
DeLon said, "Take your meds." James.
Thanks, Mike. Hey, Mike, we appreciate you, man. We still need to get you on so you can shred a little bit for us, bro.
You're welcome, Michelle.
Michelle, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Michelle. All right, y'all. We about to head on out, man. Thanks everybody for once again sticking with us, even after our 2-week hiatus. You know, we just needed a break, y'all. Just needed a break. We apologize for not letting you know, but it just happened. It just happened. So hopefully we'll have the rest of the four with us next week. Y'all pray for Mario. I think he's still having having problems from the dinner we had with Love.
And James came up there without his insulin, eating peach cobbler and red velvet cake, and somebody told him.
Yeah, I got in a little trouble myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all need to handle y'all stuff, man. All right. Put your fours up, everybody. We'll see y'all next week. Bless you. Bye. Hey, y'all, we still live. Check this out. I meant to say something. Y'all need to go check out the TV show, The Harder They Fall. You got to check out the movie on Netflix. It is good. It is done by us. It's produced by us. Sean Carter, of course, y'all know who that is. That's really Jay-Z. But go check out The Harder They Fall on Netflix. I meant to say it during the show. For those who stuck around, I'm glad you did.
Dog, I am really glad I didn't get naked and was on this camera.
We do not want that in.
But for real though, go check out The Harder They Fall on Netflix, guys. Mike said y'all tricked us. Yes, we did trick you. But no, go check out The Harder They Fall. It's a great, great movie. It is good. It is done by us. The acting is believable. There's a nice little twist at the end. You kind of saw it, maybe. I felt it coming, but go check out the movie The Harder They Fall. All right, y'all. We out for real. Peace.